Today I'm swinging back from tactics to strategics. I want to go broad and look at the big picture, look at the philosophies and principles of leveraged living in the digital age. See you soon. Welcome to the Leverage Business Podcast, where we believe business success is about working smarter, not harder, leveraging your time and expertise in ways that fit the digital age you and your clients live in today. I'm your host, Jay Allison, author of Leverage Consulting in the Digital Age and founder of the iSuccess Business Academy. And every episode, I'll be sharing insights into how you can apply the power of leverage to grow your consulting, coaching, or other expert services business and create true freedom and independent success with mindset, marketing, and money model breakthroughs. Because when you get leveraged, the sky's the limit. Let's go for it. Hello everyone, welcome back, and it is so good to be here with you because last episode I wanted to get something off my chest about webinars. So it was a rather impromptu episode slotted into the schedule just because I'd seen so many people struggling with the whole webinar and workshop strategy, and it was really annoying me when I knew there were ways to set up a webinar better or run it differently. And can't believe how much it resonated with folks. I've had a lot of people tell me how surprising it was, how helpful it was, how they're going to start really pumping up things with their webinar strategy now, or actually doing something completely different. So that was really interesting. But today I'm swinging back from tactics to strategics. I want to go broad again, and I want to look at the big picture, picking up some of the philosophies and principles explored in my interview with Dr. Sunil in episode 64, and the entrepreneurial well-being theme that's come through various other episodes. And I'm taking a little bit of a liberty by leveraging content from the preface of my book. See what I did there? And it's not cannibalizing book sales because you can read most of the preface in the Look Inside thing on Amazon anyhow. And obviously I'm going to tell you, if you don't have the book, get the book. It's very good. And I think it's great. Obviously, a few other people think it's great too. It's earned me many contracts and partnerships since it was published, smack in the midst of pandemic lockdown, which presented dilemmas as well as opportunities to us all. Helping people move through their business to an online or hybrid offer was pretty popular. It was popular anyway, but COVID accelerated a few digital transformations that might otherwise have been put off until later. So being in the business of digital transformation and online business education, both my consulting and coaching was focused on the right thing at the right time. And it continues to be the case. So the book's still packing a decent punch in the rankings. It sets out principles and frameworks, as well as a ton of practical implementation guidance. Leverage consulting is driven by the iSuccess flywheel: engage, educate, enroll, and structured around my 7 dimensions for success that I teach. It's strategic planning for business growth. Anyway, the book's preface introduces you to the concept of leveraged living. And the reason you want to join the club, well, I'll share that as we go through our 30 minutes together. So here's what we're going to cover. Why leveraging is so vital to service business growth. How leveraged living fits into the business roadmap. Understanding the mindset, marketing, and money model equation. What makes leverage consulting or coaching different? Origins of the leverage business in my life and career. Leveraging your story to find your niche. And leveraging your expert system to help others. And then finally, we're going to look at what does leveraged living and true freedom mean to you. So let's kick off. Why leveraging is so vital to service business growth. Well, the concept behind the book comes from the typical challenges that most consulting and coaching businesses find themselves with, finding and keeping clients and moving beyond the income ceiling of trading time for money. And with the tools and technologies at our disposal in the digital arena, it's easier than ever to engage, educate, and enroll clients and to grow our reach and revenue, offering opportunities beyond or as well as our one-to-one, in-person, or done-for-you services. Titled Leverage Consulting in the Digital Age, how to build and grow a successful service business in an increasingly competitive marketplace, my book offers both a strategic compass and practical playbook for professional experts looking to start, survive, and thrive with their own independent business, and who want a plan that balances meaningful work with living a life of true freedom. In promoting it, I talk about leverage consulting being your secret weapon and competitive advantage in the digital age in which we now all operate. We face many challenges in finding clients, keeping clients, and sustaining growth. Some are age-old challenges for professional services, and some are brand new for all businesses in what is an increasingly connected and competitive arena. Achieving success with a service business in both personal and financial terms will require you to step outside of your comfort zone, and indeed your failure zone, in order to take your business to a higher level. The book offers leverage strategies for solo professionals and small consulting businesses, which take on board the service-orientated values of your profession, the now inescapable commoditization embedded in the industry, and the new opportunities open to you in today's digital world. In a career spanning professional development, educational development, and business development, I've been teaching consulting, coaching, marketing, and innovating in technology-enhanced practices for over 2 decades, in the trenches, learning the lessons, sifting out the hype, and cutting to the chase. And I believe in the value of passing on that expertise because I think the freedom of leveraged living, which is possible when you earn more money while working less hours, is something we all seek as independent professionals, not only for steady state, but also when we want to grow. But how do we build that trajectory into our business architecture? Being leveraged in business means putting in the same effort but getting a much bigger result. For consultants and other professionals, this equates to utilizing your unique expertise and your time to maximum advantage in terms of the influence and impact you can have and the income you can generate. Leveraging your value and how you work with clients is easier today than ever before. In the digital age, you can save time, work more efficiently, impact more people, and share your expertise in multiple and flexible ways. And this is as true for your service delivery as it is for your marketing. When you integrate a clear message about what you do and what you offer with an efficient distribution and/or delivery system, you create a scalable way to influence and impact an unlimited and global audience. Although digital has the power to transform your business, it's not all about technology. And although both the consulting and coaching industries are still growing globally, culturally things have shifted. First, our clientele is looking for outcomes that are more tangible. And secondly, competition in the industry is rife. Nowadays, that means you need to stand out with a clear message and compelling high-value offer, or risk being just another commodity service provider left to compete on price in the marketplace. The aim is to be sufficiently unique as to make your competition irrelevant. So how does leveraged living fit into the business roadmap? I wrote the Leverage Consulting book as a resource for the consultant, coach, and professional services provider who's adept at performing in their area of expertise, but struggling to achieve either the income, impact, or work-life balance they desire. It's for those of you who are overwhelmed and confused by the glut of marketing tools and growth tactics out there today, and who want a simple, step-by-step approach to true success. I'm using the terms consultant and client to designate the type of work we do and the type of consumer of our services. In your particular field, consultant may be more aptly termed service provider, expert, trainer, advisor, coach, mentor, designer, therapist, stylist, nutritionist, retail specialist, and so on and so forth. And rather than client, maybe you prefer to switch these out with terms like customer, participant, patient, or student. Depending on your specific sector or audience, you may find pros and cons in how each term is used and received by your target market. You're the best judge of what works in your industry and for your audience, including how they see themselves. My aim has been to create an empowering guide for consulting professionals who want to lock into place an effective strategy for consistently bringing in good high-end clients and scaling their business. And by high-end, I mean clients you work with in a systematic way to produce a tangible outcome they desperately want and are willing to pay fees in the order of 5 to 10K to achieve. Terminology aside, whether you're currently failing to engage your ideal audience, win clients, or gain a more consistent income, the book really will help you lay it all out. If you're feeling stuck in a low-end trading time for money business model, undercharging on your value and working all hours, this book holds answers. Across the core 7 chapters, I hope to help you understand where, when, and how to use leverage, and show you a roadmap for implementing tangible solutions that create a workable model that's right for you. We draw on the opportunities that digital platforms offer to position and promote yourself, as well as to systematize and scale both your marketing activity and your service delivery. Of course, each stage in your business growth trajectory has its own set of challenges and constraints, so your strategic roadmap must take account of where you are now, what is the vision you have for your business, and what success means to you in terms of your desired destination. So let's look at understanding the trajectory and understanding the mindset, marketing, and money model equation, which is kind of what you need to solve in order to get from where you are now to where you want to be, right? So I like to think of the book as a kind of sense and sensibility for the solo professional or small firm with a big vision of success as an independent business. It provides solid thinking ground for those new to business planning, as well as practical marketing guidance for people who have been in the game for a while and yet are not achieving the growth they want. And this is a lot to do with how I help people in my coaching, in my mentoring, and in my education programs as well. Everyone needs a strategic reset from time to time in order to take things to the next level. But it's also really helpful having someone who's kind of walking that journey alongside you, where you can kind of get out of your own way sooner rather than later and get to where you want to get to faster and with a lot less stress. When I think about my approach to business building and the kinds of books and courses and support I've invested in over the years to help me, one thing always jumps out. I notice there's quite a gap between what some might construe as the soft, touchy-feely coaching industry and the hard, mechanical consulting world. Rarely have I found resources that integrate the different dimensions of business success. It's probably why I really resonated with my colleague who I interviewed a little while ago, Sarah Cook, because I think we think very similarly. We kind of work across that continuum of consulting and mentoring and coaching. This is reflected in the way coaching and consulting are marketed too. I find coaching type support appears heavily aimed at intuitive, heart-centered entrepreneurs, often female, and business consulting and training is aimed at business owners who think in more deductive, technical terms, often male. I know that sounds like generalizing or stereotyping, but there's plenty of evidence out there in the marketplace to back this up. Admittedly, there is coaching that has technical elements and there is business training that covers personal development, but there is a definite skew. By its own definition, coaching is typically non-directive, while consulting tends to be more directive in nature. Since I see coaching as a subset of consulting, I run my business across both dimensions. It's probably why I've used the term mentoring a lot more than I use the term coaching. Like most of my own clients, I need help with both the mental and mechanical sides of running a business, and not always at the same time. I need help to carve out an accurate picture of my business ethos, as well as to evaluate end-to-end operational processes, to identify blockages and bottlenecks, and help me see clearly what are the most pressing barriers and should be resolved first. I'm sure it's the same for your own clients. It's hard to see solutions if they're in your blind spots. Some people are convinced they've got a marketing problem, when at heart they've actually got a mindset or a money model problem. With my book, I wanted to show people a cross-dimensional picture and work at the interfaces to find the right blend as a solution for you. To have a framework to think about things about you, about your purpose, about positioning, and things about your business, its design and its operating system. At the intersection is where your strongest brand message and service model will emerge. I see far too many consultants and coaches drained from the intensity of constantly chasing after clients and going to uncomfortable sales meetings. If you hate prospecting, pitching, and selling, wouldn't you prefer to be the hunted, not the hunter? And those of you that have a good flow of clients are exhaustedly working personally with them day in and day out, tailoring and customizing every project to each one. If you want the freedom that working for yourself should provide, wouldn't it be less stressful and more rewarding to be the best at doing one thing really well and charging what you're worth? To beat the cycle of unpredictable client flow and income, you need to commit to making changes in how you think about marketing, selling, and business growth. If you can do that, then my book's going to help you greatly. Leverage Consulting in the Digital Age shows you how to strike that perfect balance between your purpose, profits, and preference for how you wish to work. And I believe that's what business success is really all about. Now, I'm often asked what makes leveraged consulting or coaching or any service business different to any other consulting, coaching, or service business model. Writing this book, I appreciated I was going against the grain of how consulting firms conventionally market and deliver services, and indeed how success is measured in the corporate world. Many firms have yet to understand the subtle yet profound benefits of moving from a cost-based, sales-focused business development strategy to one that's value-driven and client-centric. In an industry where consulting and coaching are increasingly seen as indistinguishable commodities, you need to stand out to gain competitive advantage. You need to have a clear and compelling message. You need to demonstrate value and credibility. And you need to build authentic connections. A digital strategy where positioning, marketing, sales, and delivery is driven by high-quality educational content can achieve this in 3 key ways. First, because it helps increase your reach and revenue. Second, it shortens the time needed to build trust to win contracts. And third, it means some of the work you do teaching core elements can be done without you needing to be there hands-on. Along the entire end-to-end customer journey, you're bringing value and achieving mini wins in the client's eyes. Sharing useful content on the front end helps gel the relationship with a potential client that leads more gracefully to a sale and seamlessly to continuing to add value in how you help and serve them as a client. I'd love to share a little bit about my story and the origins of the leverage business in my life and career. First in teaching and learning, and latterly in business and marketing, I've spent most of my career helping people to use technology to improve performance by doing something familiar differently. With the book, I wanted to offer new rules, perspectives, strategies, and best practices for what's possible in the digital age for the professional service provider who wants to maximize their reach and revenue. I could argue that the book's life actually began back in 2004 when I started out on my solo voyage into entrepreneur territory, new to business, new to sales, and new to internet marketing. Whilst working in a full-time career managing educational development and e-learning at a leading UK university, I hopped on board a work-from-home direct sales opportunity as a fun little sideline. I had quite low expectations of making it big with my new business, despite having a more serious intent of building a plan B in case my young daughter's epilepsy and disabilities meant eventually I couldn't hold down a 9-to-5 job. When I did eventually leave my job 3 years later, I earned way more from the consulting business I set up than from a network marketing business. In fact, I earned almost twice the salary working half the hours of my university job. My mindset may well have had something to do with this. You tend to put less effort into something that's not working and more into something that is. But frankly, I think it was because networking and sales were never things that came naturally to me. So back in those days, I ducked it. It's surprising to people who know me as a bubbly and energetic person that I'm actually rather a social introvert. happy to be at the party, but rarely the life and soul of it. Given 95% of people never make more than they spend in network marketing, I don't think I'm alone in that. Network marketing seems a very different endeavour to networking in professional situations, so this never affected the consulting or coaching side of my business. Doing presentations or teaching in front of huge audiences, no problem. Small group seminars or webinars even, love them. One-to-one coaching, I'm in my element. Writing and developing courses, totally my zone, but selling, uncomfortable as hell. For this reason, I turned that first direct sales business into an online coaching-based retail business, and other education-focused internet marketing ventures swiftly followed. And yes, for a while, I actually matched my consulting income and was living the dream, so to speak. To say it's been an adventure in enterprise would be over-glamorizing it, although I had some amazing trips to exotic locations and met some pretty incredible people along the way. My journey is far from a straight path to success. Right through my first 10 years in business, while I was busy making good money and doing all kinds of interesting work, I never felt I was working in my genius zone or following my true calling. I wanted my work to impact more people and in more meaningful ways. Deep down, I always believed I could do bigger, better things if I could just focus on that one thing that makes a difference to people. I reached the point where I said enough is enough and changed my game plan in order to drive forward the bigger vision. That meant making cognizant choices about my business model, taking a leap of faith to reinvent my professional brand and rebuild my digital platforms. So how do you leverage your story to find your niche? All of us are on a journey. In life, in our careers and with our business, there's twists and turns. In fact, it's been like a game of snakes and ladders, a rather convoluted path of ups and downs. Still, this is what shapes us. Your unique story is what sets you apart from everyone else in your industry, as well as influencing a whole new side to my business. For me, my journey to date has culminated in the writing of this book and the insights contained within for what's working in the digital age. And even for those whose services are largely face-to-face, there's an awful lot of wisdom in there to draw on in terms of business models. The ideas and approaches that I share in both the book and now in the podcast, they stem from both study and practice, and they are deliberately intertwined with my personal learning experiences and the work that I do with clients. This is not to bore you with every avenue of my ups and downs or career development, but to emphasize that for you too, there will be common themes as well as plot twists in your story that you may notice only through structured reflection. Put another way, what drives us in one or other direction is not always obvious at the time. In your career, perhaps you've got a similar story to me, one of chasing dreams and a little voice that's been nagging away at you saying, "You're worth more than you're earning." Do any of the following resonate for you? You've got a bigger vision for your success than your current consulting or coaching work is delivering for you. You know that something isn't right with your strategy for how you're marketing yourself or to whom. You need more clarity in your professional identity, brand messaging, and/or business plan. You're overwhelmed with being busy building your business and want to learn ways to work smarter, not harder. You want to repackage what you offer and learn how to do digital marketing that actually generates good clients consistently. You know that today's digital and global audience offers an opportunity to leverage your time and expertise, and you're looking for ideas and guidance. You want to make a bigger impact and earn what you're worth. If any of those applies to you, then the book's going to provide you with vital insights and exercises to help steer your thinking and planning in the right direction. In the podcast, we go all over the place with different topics. I occasionally run a little series, but the book takes you through a very structured curriculum almost. And over the hundreds of business reviews that I've undertaken, and whether in the private or the non-profit sector, similar frustrations and problems come to light that's got reasonably straightforward remedies with the right strategy, systems and support in place. And so what I help people do is think through what those are for you. One of the big things that happened for me was to create my own expert system for how I think about the business models that I help people to put in place. And so leveraging your expert system to help others is a really big area to focus on. My mentoring work's focused on helping consultants, coaches, other service-orientated businesses to surface the root causes of their common frustrations and problems. We dive into aspects of the business design and the revenue model that are potentially limiting their momentum or growth. In some cases, the weak link was a lack of clarity around what they do. Even people in business for years who feel the market's shifted because it's harder to get clients. And for others, the bottleneck was a poor sales process or inflexible service delivery model. To support the work and to systemize what I was doing with each client, a while back, I created a 7-dimensional diagnostic framework called iSuccess. After years of writing articles and running workshops around the iSuccess principles and practices, I finally moved everything into a membership-based online educational platform, which accordingly I named the iSuccess Business Academy. I never thought I'd actually find myself writing a book. I originally created a 40-page workbook to go alongside a course I was developing. And as an education and e-learning specialist by background, it seemed a natural way to add value to my consulting work. Next thing I knew, that 40-page document had mushroomed into a 400-page book. After much soul-searching, expanding, tinkering, tweaking, and polishing, perfectionists are terrible procrastinators, right? I eventually finished the compilation of insights and leverage strategies you have in front of your eyes in the book. Leveraged Consulting in the Digital Age was written to provide guidance to professionals just like myself who wanted to move from the expertise and capability they have built over their career. The book offers a self-directed kind of roadmap, not a prescriptive model. It acts as a compass to help you review your current business or business plan, establish where you want to go in terms of lifestyle goals, and guide you towards the right path in terms of what you need to do to get there. There are many paths one can take along the journey to business success, and what we need is a compass that we can use to create our own best roadmap. The book, the podcast, and the academy represent the culmination of an evolving body of thinking, study, lessons learned that I've acquired in building my own high-end client business, as well as the ongoing work that I'm doing supporting small businesses and entrepreneurs. The leverage business model has enabled me to grow a successful, that is, purposeful, sustainable, and fulfilling consulting, coaching, and online education business, and to stay profitable and competitive in the marketplace as things changed. My business is now very different to what it was a decade ago or even 3 years ago. In my New Year's Day episode last year, in fact, I gave an overview of my journey. But for me, business success is not about mansions, yachts, fancy holidays, or crazy expensive cars. I've gone past much of that. The question becomes, what does leverage living and true freedom mean to you? Personally, independent success, if you hadn't noticed, that's where I landed now with what iSuccess is all about. It's about how you choose to spend your time, having the freedom to choose. For me, it's about the little things. Leverage consulting means I get to do meaningful professional work in a way that fits my personal lifestyle preferences. I get to work when I want, with whom I want, and where I want. Yes, I like to drive a nice car. But more importantly, I can live pretty much anywhere and be happy. I'm grateful every day for that freedom to choose, that leveraged living lifestyle. To take time off when I want, go for a walk in the middle of the day, not to be forced to shop evenings or weekends, spend time with friends and be available for family when they need me. If you don't wish to remain on the roller coaster of unpredictable income and unleveraged growth, and are committed to making changes in how you market and deliver your consulting services or coaching services, finding ways to create leverage is the way to go. I love helping people develop the strategy, plan, and implement their leverage business roadmap that frees you to build, market, grow, and scale according to what you want in life, be that freedom, impact, or wealth, and what your business trajectory and timeline needs to be. It's about deciding on what's the right balance for you, personally and financially, between your purpose, your preferences, and your profitability. From reading the book, I wanted 3 outcomes to transpire for people. The first, to think differently about how you market and deliver your professional expertise with regards to your brand message, business model, packaging, and revenue streams, so you can see the opportunities for a more leveraged consulting practice. The second thing is to identify the critical elements that are most likely holding back your business growth in terms of aligning, targeting, positioning, branding, pricing, systematizing, and scaling, so you can break through current barriers. And the third is to create an action plan for transforming your marketing and business growth towards an approach that's steadfast and scalable so you can achieve the work-life freedom that you desire. There's also a downloadable companion workbook as a resource that helps you become proactive with implementing the ideas that you get from the book. So I get people to print out the workbook, put pen to paper, and just, get your ideas and action plans into play. And either way, I urge you to make sure that as you go through the book, you're actively reflecting and recording the actions you'll take. Everyone's starting point and skill set's different, and success means different things to us as individuals. My aims are that the book enlightens people on the possibilities for more leverage in your business and supports you to implement your vision of leveraged living. I'd like to finish up with a couple of quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I love his quotes. Firstly, nothing good ever was achieved without enthusiasm. That's me all over. It used to be my email signature about 20 years ago. And second, the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. Thanks, everyone. I wish you all success. If you want to get the book, if you don't have it already, then just go off to your Amazon store and put in Leverage Consulting in the Digital Age by Jay Allison, and you will find it. It's available paperback, hardback, and Kindle, and also on audio. And of course, if you want help, someone to walk alongside you, support you through the challenges as mentor, coach, and friend, reach out and let's talk. Go to jayallison.com to contact me, or find me on LinkedIn or in our Facebook group, The Leveraged Living Club. Thank you for listening to the Leveraged Business Podcast. Want to create leverage in your business? Did this episode provide some insights and ideas to be thinking through? If so, subscribe so you get alerts when the next one's released. If you want to learn more or would like help and support with building a leveraged business that achieves true freedom for you, then head over to jayallison.com/podcast to find all the resources and links that go with this show on my website, and to join our iSuccess community. And if you're enjoying our content, it would be great if you could pop into Apple Podcasts or the app you listen from and leave me a rating and review. Everyone makes a difference to improving our rankings. So thank you if you've done that already. I appreciate you. So hey, that's it. Thank you for listening. I hope you've loved this episode and have some great takeaways to be thinking through. I wish you a pleasant, productive, and profitable week, and I'll see you again next time for another episode of the Leverage Business Podcast.